Thank you all for coming, and without making any further delays, I would kindly, for the sake of starting the formal proceedings of this event, D33 workshop for Textiles members, I request our Honorary General Secretary, Mr. Kishore Bhatia, to kindly come on the stage to give a welcome speech and address the August gathering. Honorary General Secretary Kishore Bhatia ji.
Hi everybody, thanks for coming on a busy day, and thanks to all the dignitaries who have come here from the Department of Economic and I really am very honored to be here on the stage, allowing their vision to be presented to all our members. The theme of meeting today is 2033, is what the development and everything will be shown to us as a vision of the ruler towards all the members, so that we also can think and see for real what Dubai has for us in future. Before I start anything, I would like to again thank everybody and welcome everybody here. And since we are connected with the Dubai Economic Department since a very long time, I do remember in my last tenure in 1997, we were coming up with one festival for everybody as in retail. It was called Dubai Festival. Shopping festival. Yeah, I was initiated to start all this, and since then it's not stopped. It still continues to be on, and it's most favored to be looked forward to event for everybody, especially for retailers. I also feel comfortable to be here on the stage and to look at such a vast interest, because most of the time our people are escaping these kind of meetings, but today I'm really honored to see such a large number, and it's thanks to you again for allowing us to be here. And what I would say is basically we would like to invite one by one all of the dignitaries along with Mr. Mohammed Sharaf, Chief Operating Officer, to be on stage along with Mr. Jagdishji. Please come on stage so that we can honor them. We've been spending time talking to everybody here, and we feel so honored to have a one-to-one with everybody who has a vision, basically, I would say. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for coming. Next, I would like to invite Mr. Abdurrahman Al Hossain to stage, please, and our Vice Chairman, Mr. Jubil Harwani, to be on stage. Thank you very much. Next on stage, we'd like to invite Mr. Sultan Belsat to come on stage, please. Mr. Kishan, we would like you to come and honor him, please. That's Mr. Sultan Belsat. If you would see him, you would know him by name. Thank you for coming, sir. Next on line is Mr. Hisham Al-Nazar, and I would like to invite Kailash Bhai. Kailash Bhai, please, thank you.
I will request entire committee please come on the stage to have the picture with the dignitaries, entire committee members. Thank you.
May I request gentlemen to show us or give us the presentation to the best so that we can understand what is in the future for us. Thank you again. Thanks very much.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you to the Texmas for hosting this. I know this has been a long time coming. Mr. Mahesh and I, we met with a larger delegation, I think, with a lot of members around the tables today several months ago. And we talked through D33, our economic agenda, the priorities for Dubai, and where we're looking for growth. And we said that this is something that not only the board members should know, but actually, the wider community should also be aware of. So, sorry, we want to take a bit of time to go through that today. But a couple of messages I think that are important for everybody around the room to appreciate and to understand is that despite what has gone on, and you'll see it as part of the presentation, is that safety and security is a very important part and has always been a very important part of Dubai's ethos. And it's been put to test. I think everybody around the room is aware of it. But I think, we have also been confidence inspiring in being able to say that, it has been a top priority for our leadership, top priority for our government. But when it has been needed most, it has been put into action, and it has actually been very effective. Our supply chains have proven resiliency. It's not to say they've been unaffected, but they've proven resiliency. Importantly, I think key stakeholders across the various government organizations across Emirates have also worked together to find the right solutions for businesses. And we stay in very close contact with businesses to understand specifically where areas are pain points that have persisted. What can we do to overcome them? And how we can bring everybody around the table to find the right solution. So it's something that we obviously enjoy with this industry very closely through Textiles, and we want to continue to build on that. From an economic standpoint, many of you will have seen that the Emirate of Dubai continued to grow in 2025. Outpacing growth of most other developed cities around the world. We're nearing $1 trillion dirhams GDP. So we closed the year at about 937 billion dirhams. Growth rate in the last quarter of over 6%. So the steam coming into 2026 was solid. Q1 actually was also a very solid quarter pre-conflict. So we see this as not as a systemic shock to the economy. This is obviously a shock that has come sort of externally. We don't see any indicators as to why it would not be a bounce back from here, right? And I think that many, if not everybody around the room here is fully convinced of that. And key indicators that show that is that we haven't seen capital flight. We haven't put restriction on money in or money out of the UAE or Dubai in specific. And despite that, we've seen solid growth and continued performance in areas such as real estate. Banking has, we've seen, continuous payments coming in and out. Capital markets obviously have seen some fluctuations, but we haven't seen a huge pull out, despite the market cap of the DFM doubling in the last couple of years. So there are some very strong indicators that we feel very bullish about. So from a rebound perspective, all this to say is that we stay committed to the goal that was the target that was given to us by His Highness, was to figure out a way to double our GDP in the span of a decade. That is a plan called D33. Even before the conflict, we have been looking at areas in which we are looking to enhance or looking to focus even more time and effort on and tweaking the plan. But what I would like is for my colleague Sultan just to walk everybody through the D33 Economic Agenda. Where are the areas that we have been focusing? Where are the areas that we're going to double down? And what we need to do as a city and as a partnership between the government and the private sector to reach this ambitious target of doubling our GDP. So one of my favorite quotes from His Highness Sheikh Mohammed has always been, we are Dubai. We say what we do and we do what we say, right? And this is something that is on all of us as public servants, but also all of us as part of the city and a fabric of this community to really work towards this ambitious goal and ambitious target as one unit and one team. So we look forward to also connecting with everybody around different ways into how we can work together and collaborate to help the textile industry play a strong role in that growth journey. But with that said, I'd like to hand it over to my colleague Sultan just to walk us through the different.
Don't hear me well. Again, thank you so much for having us here today. As Boussaid mentioned, I'll just walk everyone through the D33 Economic Agenda. So I think the biggest question on everyone's mind is, where are we today and what's next? If we look at Dubai where it was back in COVID, we're down at 21% government debt to GDP, which is quite healthy from a 78% if you compare it on a global level. Dubai as of last month in March has been rated as AA2 by Moody's and Fitch, which is quite strong despite the ongoing conflict that's happening in the region. If you compare the government debt to GDP, of course, Dubai and the UAE, they're well placed against regional peers like Switzerland, Hong Kong, and having the UK, for example, be at 100%. And of course, as some of you had mentioned earlier, all the government or the GREs, government-related entities, including Emirate, including DP World, they're all taking necessary steps to ensure that they're doing well in their respective sectors. If we look at trends prior or looking at 2025 as a whole, there's been over $14 billion of FDI inflows into Dubai. Dubai has actually been the #1 recipient in terms of FDI projects. We've had over 10,000 high net worth and ultra high net worth individuals move to Dubai. Dubai has actually been the #1 recipient over the last 3 years, with over 25,000. And of course, as Boussaid had mentioned earlier, the economy's coming from a very strong position. We've had 5.4% GDP growth in 2025, signaling a very strong, robust economy that's quite well managed through its various sectors. If we look at tourism as a whole, we've had over 19.6 million visitors. That's in 2025 alone, surpassing pre-COVID levels. A little over 3 years ago, we're actually crossing the 3-year mark, the ruler of Dubai, Prime Minister of the UAE, Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, he announced a new 10-year plan called D33, D standing for Dubai and 33 signaling the year 2033, marking 200 years since the founding of the Al Maktoum royal family. If I break down D33 into 10 key pillars, it includes 4 priority sectors that we're focused on, 2 pillars under productivity, and then 4 enablers that we see as key for this growth to double the GDP. If we look at the 4 key sectors, it includes logistics, manufacturing, financial services, tourism. And I'll go through each one of these and share some of the projects that we're working on within each one of them. We have 2 pillars under productivity because, of course, to double the GDP, i.e. adding $115 billion or growing at an annual percent of 6%, annual growth rate of 6%, you'd have to add a mechanism to ensure that the growth is sustained over a 10-year period. And of course, we have 4 key enablers or 4 areas where we want to ensure that not only at the government level, but at the private sector level, that we are ensuring that several key areas are well maintained throughout Dubai, including having it be a global business hub, ensuring the ease of doing business, the cost of doing business, and of course, the quality of life. Of course, the first point I'd want to highlight is, Dubai is the #1 city to attract greenfield FDI projects. And as of the first half of 2025, it combines the total of all its peers, including London, Singapore, Riyadh. And this is not to say that it's only been the case last year, but Dubai has been the #1 attractor for the last 4 years in a row. If we look at the capital inflows in terms of monetary investments, as I mentioned before, there's over 40 billion dirhams or $14 billion of GDP coming in. And of course, we want to make sure that this is well maintained. And at the government level and within the EDC, we're looking at multiple different initiatives that we're introducing, incentives that we're introducing, projects that we're launching to ensure that Dubai is the #1 city in terms of attracting FDI. In terms of logistics, Dubai has the region's largest port, Port Jebel Ali, and it's home to DP World that operates over 85 ports globally. Recently, we've had a target in 2026 to have over 2 trillion dirhams of trade pass by through Dubai, and it's already crossed that in 2025 at 2.4 billion. If you look at statistics, Dubai's foreign trade is 10 times larger than all the regional markets in the region. And it's a strong signal of the resiliency of the logistics platform that Dubai has, whether it's through DP World, whether it's through Emirates Sky Cargo, and of course the freight on the ground. Dubai and the UAE also benefit from free trade agreements and CEPAs, allowing seamless trade between countries, with large markets like Indonesia, India, Turkey, with 40 currently signed and 20 additional coming into the pipeline in the next 18 to 24 months. If we look at the logistics capability, in addition to DP World operating 85 ports globally, because of their network and because of Emirates Sky Cargo's network, prices can actually be 40 to 60% lower than regional areas and more efficient. What we've been working on actually with DP World is on a project where we understand that they're currently connected through 400 cities through land, sea, and air, and we want to understand how we can double that to 800 cities. So traders, manufacturers can tap into markets that they're not yet connected to through their platform. If we look at manufacturing, and I would say it's one of the sectors that we're focused on the most, we came 3 years ago to understand what is the strategy we need to position Dubai as a manufacturing hub. We put together an incentive program where, as of today, we have multiple use cases where we work with companies to understand what are their requirements and what we as a government can provide in terms of incentives, whether it's rebate on utilities, rent, going all the way to CapEx grants. But we also wanted to understand what are some policies we can introduce on an emirate level here in Dubai. We've introduced a solar program where companies and manufacturers can take advantage of generating electricity using solar. We've also looked at an in-country value policy, so manufacturers can get priority when it comes to government tenders, both on a Dubai and the UAE level. And of course, as I mentioned before, we've also been working with the Ministry of Foreign Trade to expand on these free trade agreements so manufacturers can take advantage of them. The third sector is financial services. If we look at the growth in the IFC since 2021 until today, it almost doubled in terms of number of professionals, in terms of companies that have set up. And we already have a plan to set up another DIFC 2.0. If we look at the IFC and some key statistics, it has 27 out of 29 of the global important systematic banks, which gives a signal to its reputation, not only on a regional, but also on a global level. You have all the investment banks, law firms, all in one area, and they've also launched multiple initiatives to position it as a leading fintech hub and leading AI hub. And of course, when we look at financial services, we have a big focus to grow our stock market. If we look at key numbers, the DFM index outperformed most other indices at 81% last year. It has over $1 trillion dirhams in terms of market cap, with almost 67 companies that are already listed. But of course, when we look at financial services, it's not only looking at the large companies that we want them to go public, but it's also looking at startups, SMEs, scale-ups. And we also have projects where, for example, we're looking to provide revenue-backed financing for small and medium-sized enterprises. We're looking at how we can provide tailored support for companies that are scale-ups to have them go to the next stage of growth. So for us, when we say financial services, we look at every aspect of the value chain. Fourth, last but not least, tourism. And I would say that in the last 20 years, or the last 15 or 20 years, Dubai really came to position itself as a leading tourism hub. We've been rated as the #1 tourism destination globally for 3 years in a row by TripAdvisor. As I mentioned before, we've already surpassed our pre-COVID levels when it comes to visitors being attracted. But of course, within tourism, we also look at the current infrastructure, the hotels that we have. We have almost 155 hotel room keys, which has actually been a 30% increase since 2021. And we've launched a similar initiative where we want a 20 to 30% increase in the next few years by introducing an incentive program for hospitality players that want to set up with a particular interest in beachfront hotels. Despite the increase in the number of hotel room keys in the last 4 years, the average daily rate has actually increased in line with it. And that's because of our focus on not only tourism within the winter months of the year, but also positioning Dubai as a leading hub in tourism in the summer. Hence, when we speak to hotel operators nowadays, they've noticed that their ADRs actually stay quite consistent throughout the 12 months of the year. I also mentioned that we have 2 pillars under productivity. The first is talent, where we have a big focus to position Dubai as a leading talent hub. Because when we talk about, and we talk to companies, regardless of their size, it's very difficult to advocate for growth if they don't have the right talent to hire. We've launched multiple projects to support both Emirati and non-Emirati talent here in Dubai. Not only for students that are going through university and coming into the job market, but also high schoolers that are trying to understand what are the jobs of the future. And I've actually conducted a study to understand what roles are actually required for the economy so they can understand how they can complement it by the degrees that they can obtain. If we look at the population, we're at almost 4.2 million as of last year. And that's actually been a double since 2012. We've been growing at an average 6% rate, which is quite high for a city like Dubai. So whenever people complain about the traffic, sometimes it's very difficult with the amount of people that are coming into the city. Of course, if we look at key figures, and I had mentioned that Dubai has been the #1 recipient in high net worth individuals. A big part of the individuals that are coming into Dubai are actually investing into the economy, moving their capital into Dubai. And I think it's a big change that we've noticed since COVID, when Dubai's been one of the first cities to open its doors to the rest of the world, and a lot of people started to visit, and people would visit again, and then think about setting up shop here, moving their business here. And I think that's been one of the key indicators where people came through COVID and noticed the resiliency of the government, how strong the economy is despite the previous conflict that we went through. And I think this is the testament that people know today about Dubai, despite the ongoing regional conflicts. If we look at innovation, and I think when we talk on a day-to-day basis with companies, regardless of the sector they're in, I think one of the key drivers under this doubling of the GDP is productivity and innovation. Positioning Dubai not only as a global hub, but also a hub for leading multinational corporations to set up their R&D facilities, tech facilities. And that's the reason why we have a focus on high-skilled talent. A couple of projects that I want to mention. One is Sandbox Dubai, where essentially we've partnered with Dubai Future Foundation to put together a foundation for a non-existent sector in the economy where we'd be able to bring in private sector players, public stakeholders, as well as regulators to put together a foundation of a non-existent sector here in the economy. We've also introduced Dubai Traders and Dubai 400. Dubai 400 aims to support 400 scale-ups out of Dubai for them to not only become a large company, but also potentially go and list on the public financial market. If we look at some of the key stats under innovation, Dubai's one of the leading 5 cities when it comes to the AI Cities Index. As most of you already know, we've had the Minister of AI on a UAE, on a federal level since 2017. So both the city and the country have been very welcoming to moonshot sectors that are not existent in the economy. We're already launching multiple projects where we're working with companies to understand what are some AI initiatives we can introduce to their businesses to help scale their growth. Now, the last 4 key enablers, the first is positioning Dubai as a business hub. And I think when you think back in the last 2 to 3 decades, having Dubai Internet City when it was still quite nascent after the dot-com boom. Thank you. And we've come to be able to position Dubai as a leading hub for global multinational corporations. As of today, we have over 60% of the world's most innovative Fortune 500 companies having either a global or regional headquarters based out of Dubai. And people always ask, why is that the reason? And of course, it's not only talent, but it's because of the government's resilience in terms of the initiatives they've launched to make sure that despite any challenges they would face, either on a company or even on a regional level, the government is always quite close to businesses to be able to resolve that. One of the projects we have is working with these multinational corporations to understand that there's any issues we can support them both on an emirate, a federal, or even any issues they would need in terms of business development, support they would require on their business. And I think that's key for any government to do to ensure that these global companies have faith and confidence in the cities that they operate in. Of course, I think we take some of the benefits here for granted, but having a very low tax, a 9% corporate tax that's been introduced last year, clear regulation in terms of any sector you operate in. And that's one of the things we do when it comes to attracting FDI to Dubai. We have a specific team that works with companies for them to understand where to incorporate, obtain their license, set up a bank account, and that's free of charge. That's an addition from the government to invite companies from abroad to set up. In the last few years, we've also introduced 100% foreign ownership, no restriction on repatriation of funds. So multiple things that we've noticed that are critical for more investors and current investors to set up shop here in Dubai. I think last but not least, on the quality of life, as Boussaid had mentioned earlier, safety is always top of mind. And I think that's always been the case in the last several decades. And it's not only making sure that businesses are doing well, but people are actually living happily, in harmony, in sync, 200 nationalities under one roof. And as part of our 2040 master plan, where you can understand what is the plan for Dubai, for the rest of the map, what is going to be built, that we have a plan to have 80% of daily services to be within 20 minutes, regardless of where you are in Dubai. And that's through multiple infrastructure projects that I will walk you through in the next slide. RTA actually has over 17 planned projects, including the Blue Line Metro, including other initiatives to make that happen. And of course, if we look at the level of investment that's going into the infrastructure here, I mentioned earlier that we have 19.5 million passengers that are coming into Dubai as tourists. But we actually have over 90 million people passing through Dubai International Airport. In the next few years, the government has a plan for, as you already know, Dubai World Central, the Maktoum International Airport, which is expected to have a final capacity of 270 million passengers, 3 times the current one. There's, of course, the investment, the 10 billion dirham investment Dubai Exhibition Center, where we're moving all the events that are being hosted in Dubai World Trade Center to Expo. We've hosted last year GITEX, which attracted over 200,000 individuals over a 4-day period. We have, of course, multiple initiatives, whether it's to strengthen the sewage system, the infrastructure, the roads. And as a government in Dubai, we want to make sure that with our 2040 master plan, where we're expecting, of course, the population growth, we want to make sure that it has strong infrastructure to complement that. I want to thank everyone for listening, and I'll open the floor for questions.
Thank you very much, sir. I would just like to briefly mention past this thing, because this is the first sort of physical seminar we had after the COVID times. So earlier, we very fondly remember, and on behalf of Textiles management, I remember and thank for the last seminar we had, that was for the CCCP division, the Consumer Protection Division. I think that was done at the time when His Excellency Said Al-Khamzi sir was the Director General. So this is the next seminar. We are very thankful to you. And before we proceed further, I'll request our former chairman, immediate former chairman, and current committee member, managing committee member, Mr. Mahesh Advani, to express thanks for the presentations and to share his words.
Thank you, Mr. Namaskar, Salam, Adab, and Hare Krishna to all of you. Thank you, Mr. Sultan, for a great presentation. Mr. Mohammad Sharaf, Mr. Abdul Rahman, Mr. Hisham, welcome. Let me begin with a quote by His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum. He once said, "In the race of excellence, there is no finishing line." So I think we have been witnessing Dubai. I've stayed here 44 years. My children were born here, and many in this room have been staying in Dubai many more years before me. The textile trade is the oldest in Dubai. Our earlier generation started textile trade in 1920, which is the first Indian traders, or maybe prior to that, which came. And there are some people from the same generation, 4th generation, living here, of the same people who came in 1920s over here. Textile trade and the garment and the home furnishing exports to over 90 countries from Dubai. So it's a great destination for re-export. We all have faith in Dubai, and we have seen after every crisis, Dubai bounces back very quickly. Some of the questions the members would like to ask, let me give the answer prior to that. Most of the people, most of the traders are suffering from cargo dumped here and there around the world. Some cargo have been dumped by shipping agencies because of force majeure and war, Strait of Hormuz being closed. In Nhava Sheva, in Mundra, in Karachi, in Sohar, some maybe in Singapore or some other countries, Pakistan, Karachi port. So day before yesterday, Texmas had a meeting with Dubai Customs. I think you all must have received the circular because we have to, if some of our textile members are also into logistics. So some of we members have to, or the traders have to approach different authorities. So Dubai Custom made it easier for us. So we have sent you that email ID. You can put all your questions there, challenges there. Your cargo is stuck somewhere in Korfakan or Nhava Sheva, or shipping line is not listening to you. They are charging you arbitrary certain amount which you are not able to, as a single trader, fight with the shipping line. So you write on that email, and also if you would like to meet them, they have opened the elite lounge. But please book a prior appointment by writing on that email with the supporting documents that we have this problem and we would like to come and meet you. And they will grant you an appointment. You can go and meet Dubai Custom people. They will try to solve all your problems with multiple government departments like DP World or shipping line or a forwarding company or whoever. Also, they are, if you are suffering from some damage issues from some shipping line because of no fault of yours, that also Dubai Customs promised us that they will look into it. Also, some people are heavily dependent on re-export. So please approach them. They have already established a green corridor between Korfakan, Fujairah port, and also Sahar port. And now the talks are going on to establish a green corridor between Jebel Ali and Jeddah, which is going to be solved soon. So we will not have to access, if this crisis continues for longer, we will not have to, access Strait of Hormuz, and directly through the Red Sea we can take out our cargo. Also, if some people are exporting by air, and if you are getting a quote from Emirates or Fly Dubai, something which is higher and not feasible for your business, please approach Dubai Custom. They will try to get you a discount on even the airfare. So these are the multiple measures the government has taken. We have seen the DET for the license renewal, trade license renewal. They have given certain deferrals. Depending on the staff strength, your amount of renewal could be down by 40%, 50%, depending on the number of staff you have. So there are multiple measures the government is taking. As far as the banks are concerned, the Dubai, UAE Central Bank did release by reducing the reserve ratio. They thought it will, release the funds in the market. But I just wanted to inform you that sometime approaching the bank is a double-edged sword. We have seen this during COVID. Some of the members approach the banks for deferrals, and which genuinely a trader has a problem. Today we have I have X number of containers stuck for which the amount is already paid. I'm sure many of the traders are having the same situation. And if he asks the bank for deferral, the bank will give him a deferral. But once the crisis is solved, they will try to close the account. So that you should know, and if you can do at your end something to give a message to the central bank, to give this message to the banks, to look at it at a different angle rather than being so harsh on the traders. Dubai Custom has also promised us that in case of any other support you want, they will look at it on a case-to-case basis. Please send an email with CC to Texmas so that they know that you are a Texmas member, and the Texmas office will try everything possible to arrange a meeting for you if there is a special case or something like that. Any of the committee members you can approach, or the office bearers, or me. We are there for you. Thank you so much, and thank you once again. God bless you. Krishna, can you open the session for question and answer?
There is no question, right? So I believe that everyone has the
immense faith in the leadership, and everybody believes that the crisis will be over soon, and the Dubai will bounce back even much better than the before. If still there is anyone has any question, please do let us know.
Thank you very much for the wonderful presentations. And I now kindly request our honorary chairman, Mr. Jagdish Amarnani, to give his vote of thanks.
Assalamu alaikum, namaste. At this workshop with the Dubai Department and Economy Tourism, DET, we heartily express thankfulness to very senior officials here at Texmas, Dubai Textile City, Mr. Mohammad Sharaf, CEO, Mr. Abdul Rahman Al Hasmi, Sunny, Mr. Sultan Bilassar, Mr. Hasim Al Nazar. Respected sir, we are all grateful to you, all the kind devoting the time. As a Texmas chairman, I strongly emphasize align the textile sector with Dubai Economic Agenda D33. There is need to focus on leveraging Dubai logistic, digital transformation and sustainable practice to boost trade efficiency and reinforce the Emirates' position as the global trade hub. The mandate which was given to us at the time of formation of Texmas Association, as well as bringing up the Dubai Textile City with the government great vision and support. The workshop surely provide a platform for Texmas members to align their operational and growth strategy with the Emirates economic vision. We take this opportunity in the kind presence of DET dignitary. On the behalf of entire Texmas management and member, I immense thanks His Highness, all the ruler of Dubai, UAE and Dubai for taking immense care of entire UAE residents under the trying of past regional conflict, and we humbly salute them all and the UAE Defence Force. It is great that our key Texmas members have come to participate in this workshop, and special thanks to all former chairmen and committee members is being part of group to future propagate the D33 vision to all others. Thank you.
Thank you very much to honorary chairman. And we now kindly announce the completion of this very important seminar, workshop, D33 vision. Thank you very much for attending. And we request our special guests, dignitaries, and our committee members, all our members to kindly join for lunch. Thank you very much. Thank you.